Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at the market leading stocks via our proprietary scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Thursday, September 4th, 2014. Got a bit of a downside day going here, especially in the NASDAQ patch. We are lined up here with a bias to the sell side, but it's nothing too definitive just yet. We definitely have some weakness in a couple of the big names. As you see, Apple's got a volume bump and it's 4% below the day's open, so there's a lot of weakness there. Got a volume bump in Baidu, but that one's kind of treading water versus today's open. Broadcom's got a volume bump, but is trading better. Got a couple of contra signals to the downside here as well. For solar, bucking the trend, that one's almost 3% above the day's open. But unfortunately, that one has no signal. And Tesla is starting to roll here a little bit, and that one is 2% below the day's open. Moving on to the financials, we're stacked up a little bit more decisively here to the downside. A lot of contra candles, meaning stocks are trading higher on the day, but well below the day's open. Here we don't have too much in the way of volume bumps except for Sallie Mae. We've got above average volume in JP Morgan, which has a signal, and also Citigroup, which has a contra candle to the downside as well. Moving on to the energy names, not so much where the action is today, even though oil prices are up a lot. The shares of PBR today are notably weak. We saw that kind of forecasted yesterday by the scans. That's 2.5% below the day's open with the volume bump. As far as the market generals go, again, a bit of weakness, but not terribly decisive. Got a volume bump in Dow Chemical. That's the only one that's really trading extraordinary volume at this point. Best Buy has an upside RPS, but doesn't have a volume deviation to support it. Housing names today are definitely very active and almost universally to the downside here. Got a volume bump in Toll Brothers, and that one's 5% below the day's open. Got a volume bump in Canadian, which is almost 3% below the day's open. DHI has a downside CPS or continuation pressure signal to the downside. That one's more than 3% below the day's open. Transports, for the most part, are also very weak today. The only one that's shown upside interest is Norfolk Southern NSC, which has an upside CPS condition. Moving on to the commodities, this is where it could get interesting. We've got a couple of RPS signals to the upside here. Arch Coal ACH has an upside CPS, and that is on volume, so that could be in play tomorrow. We've also got a contra candle setting up in U.S. Steel, the letter X, and that one's got good volume with it as well. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.